Oh my God, we are online. Hey man, what's happening with y'all, man?
What's happening, y'all?
I'm gonna tell y'all, man. Nice very special night.
Yes.
Yo, church lady did not pay her electric bill. She's sitting over there in the candles, but we gonna still do.
I still
we
love y'all
still,
though.
we still. I'm a matter of fact. You know what? Don't even, don't even send me, don't even send me that $1.50. You
I
can have it.
I gotta pay my debt, man. I couldn't pay the electric bill, man.
Oh my God. But tonight, man, look, man, what we gonna do, we gonna discuss,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, the nuances of making space in your relationship. This your boy Isaac. That's my wonderful co-host T, Church Lady, and this is the Under No Conditions podcast. Let's go.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you know that's right. And you know that's right. Welcome to the Saturday edition of Under No Conditions podcast. This is your host, Isaac, aka the Iceman. And guess what? My wonderful co-host is sitting over there in the dark because she didn't pay her gas and electric. Atlanta Gas and Electric is out just for a few seconds, just like AT&T, Verizon, and
Yes.
T-Mobile was out the other day. My
Yes.
wonderful co-host, Tiana Church Lady White. What's going on with you?
All right, what's going on, Ice Man?
Hey man, look, well I'm telling you, man, some funny things been going on yesterday, day before yesterday. Verizon, AT&T,
Yeah.
T-Mobile
Yeah.
service was out. Today, you have no gas and electric. Oh man, something is it's most definitely a conspiracy. Something is going on today. What's happening with y'all, man?
Man, you had to
Oh
go, man. Tell him the truth. I owed you $1.50. You said you ain't care about what I had to take care of, so I had to send you the money. I ain't got no lights.
man, look, I'm gonna send that back to you after the show.
Please.
Because you need it
Please.
right now a little more than I do.
Yes. Yes. I agree. I
Oh
agree.
my gracious.
You had
Hey,
a good
as you
week
guys
though?
know, hey man, I had a wonderful week.
That's
I had a
good. Me
blessed
too.
week no matter what happened in my week. I
Yes, indeed.
always know to give it to God and
Absolutely.
let him handle it the way that he needs to handle it. I'm at a point in my life where I don't have no bad days. I just have
Right.
bad moments.
Yes.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
moments pass. Yes, they
That's
do.
it, man.
Yep.
Tonight, what we talking about tonight? What we
Well,
doing?
y'all, Auntie came up with something. I'm always on the social medias, okay? Not just Facebook. I know the old heads be on there, but I am officially an old head. But anyway, I saw a video on IG that I thought was really great for us to talk about tonight, and it's about taking up space in your relationships. The context of what the young lady was talking about is that sometimes when we get in relationships, we feel like we don't want to be too much. We don't want to ask too much, men or women. We want everything to kind of be on an even keel. We don't want to seem like a nag. We don't want to have our partners overextending themselves to be with us. But the young lady was saying that's not a healthy relationship. Relationships are not always convenient. It's not going to always be a convenient to be with your partner. Sometimes you got to step out of that zone of convenience. Now she wasn't saying you overextending yourself, or your person just taking, ain't giving nothing back. But she said it stems from childhood trauma as well, and childhood behaviors that we kind of bought into or were taught. So I thought we just go ahead and put that on the table tonight. I thought it was so interesting because I could relate to it just real quick. I never, growing up, I had a wonderful childhood. I'm never going to take away from that. But I didn't want to overextend myself because as a child of a single parent, well, I want my mother to always overextend herself because a child of a single parent. I saw what she had to go through. She worked a lot, she sacrificed a lot. And so I never wanted to be a burden on her. She never made me feel like that. but that carried over into my personal relationships, dating relationships, because I never wanted to be an inconvenience. But with watching that video, I discovered it's not always convenient to be with somebody. It's not even convenient. Let's just say to have children or have a relationship with your parents. It's not always convenient. So in those relationships, we're okay with inconveniencing other people, but why do we feel like we don't want to inconvenience our partner to a certain degree?
You
So I
know,
want to get your thoughts on that too.
that was a great insight because I watched the video on several occasions. And
Hmm.
my personal thought when we talk about inconvenience and really understanding the nuances in the relationships, the first thing that came to mind to me was sacrifices,
Yeah.
right? Being able to sacrifice. And and in many of relationships, whether it's your partner relationship, your associate relationships, you do sacrifice and you give up something.
Yeah, you do.
But my question, because I always like to play the back end,
Yeah.
is like when we talk about the childhood traumas and the factors that come into that, a lot of times that really hinder us as individuals. I know it has hindered me to be
Yeah.
the best person that I could be in a relationship.
Yeah.
So when we talk about nuances, like how do you know that you are the best person for that person when
Mm.
in previous relationships, all your relationships prior to the next person has failed?
Yeah.
That process, what changes have you made on yourself, or how have you given yourself an opportunity to look at yourself to be like, you know what, I need to change this. I got to do better in this. I need to learn how to
Mhm.
listen. I need to do this. Sometimes I need to keep my mouth closed. And
Yeah.
and provision is not always financial.
Right.
So in the whole scheme of things, how do we really like take a step back and understand that's part of our childhood trauma?
Man,
Because
that's a
because sometimes I ask myself on many occasions, is it really trauma?
yeah. Is it just a learn, or is it just a learned behavior, something we
Or is
picked
it a
up,
learned behavior?
or a defense mechanism?
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
you living in a single family household. I came up in a two-parent household, and the relationship between both parents was totally different.
Mm-hmm.
My father was a do as I say, not as I do kind of guy. He didn't he didn't veer from that.
Right.
He was very hands-on and hands down.
Got you.
And what I said, that's what I meant.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, my mother, she was like that, but she was loving and nurturing.
Yeah.
So I had the opportunity to see both parts. But even with that, that's conflicting because a lot of times, you wonder what's right or wrong.
Right.
And then when you go out into this world and you start interacting with your peers and seeing how their lifestyles and their homes are constructed, you figure you looking at it like this now. Like, okay, I go over to Johnny house, we can do what we want to do.
Right. Right.
I go over to Linda house, man, ain't nobody home. It's just a
Right.
freestyle.
Right.
And it
Right.
was it was like that some days in my neighborhood because we had to work. And we bring all those learned and taught experiences into our relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is that we don't qualify enough to adjust.
Right.
You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? Because every
Absolutely.
every every relationship is different.
All of them.
And you have to be honest with yourself. What do you really want in that relationship?
Mm-hmm.
If it's finance, you can't expect to have a healthy relationship.
Why you say that?
I'm gonna say this. If I'm coming with my pockets and that's all I'm coming with,
Mm-hmm.
then you giving me a level of control, right?
Agreed.
Financially, just on the
Financially.
financial piece. I
Right.
might not I might not have the necessary skills socially and communicative wise
Right.
to really relay to you what I may need or what I want, right?
Right.
So my money becomes my open door. You understand what
Okay.
I'm saying?
I totally understand that.
So as a partner, at some point, that's gonna wear thin. It's gonna wear thin
It does. It does. It
because
does.
as you grow in these relationships and you're making spaces and you understanding the nuances of your partners and you being able to look at who you are,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times, and you've been in quite a few, and I've been in quite a few myself. In that
Right.
process, we don't want to listen. We don't want to be taught. Nobody could tell us
Yeah.
nothing. We
Right.
grown.
Right. Yeah. I can definitely relate to that. I've said that myself and being in certain relationships. But I'll tell you the one thing that really taught me to change is that I had somebody in my family that I'm very close to, and they just was like, an older person. They like, look, this is who I am. I ain't changing. But the behavior that they were participating in really hurt me. But I had
Mhm.
to start focusing on trying to change them. And like you said, adjust, realign myself and adjust myself. Not to come not to meet them where they were, but to accept them. Hey, so and so don't like to do this. They not gonna change in that area. That's fine. But I don't have that. If that behavior doesn't isn't positive to me, it doesn't affect me in a positive way, I don't have to deal with it. Now I'm gonna accept you for who
Right.
you are, but that doesn't mean that I have to deal with what you just offering. I don't have to take what you just have to give. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's most definitely all about those adjustments. And
Yeah.
sometimes that could be really, really, really difficult, especially if you with somebody that you like or you
Mm-hmm.
feeling, or somebody that innately you feel like we might have something moving forward, and then
Right.
you realizing like that's not gonna work.
It's
And a
not.
lot of
Yeah.
and you you make those decisions about what you can accept and what you can accept from many times that it's not always the negative relationship.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's based on your learned and taught behavior from childhood up,
Yeah. Yeah.
because the people that you learn the most from are your peers,
Yeah.
right?
See, my situation was a little different. I like I'm the only child, and I don't have any cousins. My father's sister doesn't have any cousins. I mean, any children. My mother's sisters don't have any children, so it's always just me. So I learned that I can't say I learned, from my peers, but I learned a lot being around older people. You know,
Mhm.
I definitely was ahead of my time. The expectations were totally different with a 40-year-old as opposed to somebody in my age group, 15, 16. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
grew up around my grandmother. She was old school. She like, nah, we ain't have none of that. You know what I mean? We ain't doing none of that. And my aunts too, they like, nah, they were 16. Well, they are 16 years older than me. So they were the closest peer I had to a certain extent.
exactly.
You know
Right.
what I mean? So um and I learned so much from them, and I picked up just with anybody. I picked up good habits and not so good habits. You know what I mean? Um, but I will say it wasn't until I really got into my latter 30 years in my 30s and now 41 that I see a lot of stuff that I could have done differently. Cause I think a lot of times, and this is not a woman or man thing, but people like to play victim. Well,
Exactly.
so and so, and I get it. Cheating, abuse, things like that. I mean, I don't think that's playing victim. But when so and so, they ain't do this, but you're not telling the new person they didn't do ABC because you didn't do ABC on your end. Or you
Exactly.
weren't the kindest person, or you weren't communicative, or you weren't emotional, or you weren't financially available to a certain extent, or mentally
Exactly.
available. So it's so easy for us to to play the victim role, and I've done it. I think we've all done it to a certain extent. But now that I'm
Exactly.
a little older and have more experience, I see where I could have definitely changed something. Now, some relationships, they just weren't gonna work regardless, even if I changed. But now I know going forward in newer relationships what I need to work on about me. And my sister, she'll be back in here in a little bit. One thing she always taught me, she's older, she always told me, if you're gonna lie to somebody, don't lie to yourself. And I think a lot of times we do
Ain't that
that,
something?
especially, yeah, we do that because we just had, I don't even think it's a fantasy world, but we really don't want to deal with this. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-mm.
um, but as far as taking up space in relationships, I always, and this is just my experience, I never really did that because I was so focused on not being a nag. Because you hear about women, oh man, she nagging, she want me to do this and she want me to do that. But and some women do nag. I think we all do at some point. But is it really nagging when I'm requiring you to treat me a certain type of way? Is it really nagging when I'm expecting you to, if I'm putting in 50%, I need you to put in 50% too, and I'm not doing 70, you doing 30. Is that really nagging? Or from a man's perspective, is it really nagging? I'm going to work, let's just say 14 hours a day. I know you home taking care of the kids, but is it nagging? I like to come home and the kitchen clean, or maybe I got a little hot pocket in the microwave. So it's all in perspective. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
Just a little
you ain't
a
you ain't
little hot
say hot
pocket.
pocket.
Yeah, a little hot, look, just a little ham and cheese hot pocket in the
She don't
microwave
want
with
no
some mayo.
dinner, y'all.
Yeah,
Man, she'll take a
you
hot
ain't gotta
pocket,
ask for
man.
dinner.
That's my
He,
dog
I
right
mean,
there.
listen, little hot pop, and maybe a little bag of Cheetos, a little flame hot joints, your little
Yeah, give me
Kool-Aid,
some, right? Give me
Yeah, just a little something, something. He's not even asking for a full course meal, just a little something, something. Maybe the chicken nuggets that was left over from from lunch,
yeah, warm
at
them up
Wendy's.
for me.
Yeah, put something in the air fryer, just a little something, something.
Hey, but
So
you know,
I think it's all in perspective. But I had the
yeah.
biggest problem in my relationships, always thinking I was asking for too much. And you learn over time, you're not asking for too much. You're asking the wrong person. You know what I mean? So
I think that's a cliche because what happens is you got to figure out really what you're attracted to
that's another
because
point. I'm glad you
it
brought that up.
when my mom and my dad used to tell me, you are what you attract. And I didn't
Mm-hmm.
understand that for a lot of time, for a long, long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a lot to do with the nuances of the behaviors that I
Mm.
displayed at all the relationships.
Okay.
Because many times for me as a man, I always went into relationships thinking I knew what to do.
Okay. I
So,
respect that. I'm
right.
glad you said that.
So for me, it wasn't even about communicating.
Right. You just knew you figured what you knew what to do with
I
every
thought I
relationship.
thought I knew what to do
Right.
because I thought I came with a certain set of skills that could put me in position to be the best person I can be in that situation. And
Right.
many times you find out that the person that you with, based on your own personal expectations, they can't fulfill those expectations because they haven't
Mm.
been taught.
Right. Right. So we both just out here winging it. In other
Yeah,
words. Yeah.
we just swinging from tree to tree.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're young and you're immature and you're trying to figure it out, you don't look at it that way. You
Gotcha.
don't look at it that way. It always comes out to trauma, or he makes me feel this way or she makes me feel this way. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just not man or woman, it's both parties, because a lot of times, I've been in situations where females thought that they knew what I liked.
Mm.
And what happens is you go around, you treating every relationship that you in the same,
The same way. Yeah.
instead of really like putting your feet to the ground and buckling down and keeping your mouth closed and paying attention.
Right.
Because
Right.
that takes work,
Right.
and asking the right questions instead of not just asking no questions of at all and assuming that you know.
Or how about this? You thinking you're doing the right thing, but you get mad at them when they tell you, I don't need this, but I do need this. That was my problem. Cause like you, I thought every man wanted the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I talked about it. I was in a previous relationship And this guy did not require me to. I never had anybody to require me, but he didn't need me to make his plate. So like I would cook dinner, you know what I'm saying? And of course, my daughter, whatever. I'm not talking about the children. I'm talking about between him and I. Let me make your plate. And he say, no, babe, let you sit down. I'm gonna make your plate. And it would irritate me because I'm like, I cook dinner, I got to make the plate because that's what I thought a man wanted. And I would get so irritated and I would feel some type of way about him doing that I just would, it would become a whole issue. And so, but when
Yeah,
I
you
took
made
the
at that
time,
time you made it. See what you know what you did? You made it about you instead of
exactly,
keeping it on him. And that's what we do.
exactly,
That's what we do. We
exactly.
make it now. We make it about us, and it's really not about us. And that's one of the nuances. I'm happy that you talked about that because
Yeah,
that's a nuance in many relationships when you're talking about taking up space that kills a lot of relationships.
it does.
Because
Yeah.
once you get into that situation where you're uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
right, based
Mm-hmm.
on what you think the needs of the person are that you're with,
Right.
and then you find out, nah,
They don't need that.
yeah, it ain't even that. Now
Right.
you take it
Now you
personally.
mad.
You take it as an attack,
I
right?
did. I
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
you take it as an attack. Like, who are you to tell me not to fix your plate? I
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
supposed to be
Like,
doing this.
yeah. And I told him, I
You
said,
look.
how many dudes would be happy to have a woman fix
Oh,
this plate?
see, there you go.
Yeah.
See,
What
there
I'm
you
saying?
see. Now, guess what? Now that's verbal manipulation,
Yeah. Respect. It was. It
right?
was though.
Now I'm gonna manipulate this situation because
Eh,
guess what? Now I'm letting you know, man. Look, any other guy would love for me to do this for
Yep.
them. Why
Yep.
not you?
Could you imagine a person you love or care about taking something that small and saying that's almost an attack?
It
Because
is
it's
an
almost like you comparing me. You know what I mean?
AT. It ain't almost. It is an attack
Yeah.
because in that process of developing yourself in that relationship, many times we don't even know how to communicate that.
That's true.
I was
It's true.
watching the video and I thought it was so touching,
Hmm.
and it was an older couple, and she was in the kitchen and she was cooking, and she was like, "This is the love of my life," and he came over,
Mm.
and she asked him to taste the potato salad,
Hmm.
and you know she put the fork, she gave it to him and fed it to him,
Hmm.
and he said it needed a little spice, and he kissed her,
Hmm.
and he said, "Yeah, it tastes better now."
Oh, that's so
And
sweet.
but check this out, the thing, and she looked, and she was like, "Is there anything else you need for me to do for you?"
Oh, that's so sweet.
And he was like, "You can you fix me a sandwich and give me a pickle and some potato chips?"
That's sweet.
Instead of her saying,
I
"I
ain't
can
doing
do
that.
that," nope. She looked at him. She said, "You want me to do that for you?" He said, "Yes." And she said, "Go sit down."
That's so sweet.
And what I took from that, right? The whole dynamic of that piece was she was listening.
Yeah. And she didn't have a problem with serving in her relationship.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
she was not only listening, she was willing to serve at the
Yeah.
highest
This level.
level.
Yes. Yes. And that don't always mean serve because your partner make just as much money or as you or more. That means serving in partners that don't make as much money. You know what I'm saying? And I think man, serving is such the the word teaches us serving is such a loving act, but people take it as something totally different. It's seen as I'm bowing down. It's such an act of devotion to something or someone. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Bible teaches us.
I think service, what I've learned in my years of being in relationships is that that's the highest honor
It is.
in
It
any
is.
relationships. And sometimes it could become aggravating if you're not grounded emotionally.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and even in those times of aggravation, as me being who I am, I still have to continue to serve.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't feel like I don't feel no less than. How about
Mm-hmm.
that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right. Now, was that something? Was that something a muscle that you had to work and develop, or were you kind of always like that because of the way you saw, your parents serve each other? Were you
e-
always like that?
even though I saw it coming up, I didn't understand it.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
saw it from my grandparents,
Mm-hmm.
my parents, and when I became, a parent, I started dating and being in relationships. I really didn't understand it because the learned and taught behavior that I had infiltrated into my belief system from my peers and everything that I
Gotcha.
that I saw around me. Serving was you was being
Right. A punk or
don't
something or less
yeah,
than.
no man, you don't serve, man. What's
Right.
happening?
You
What you
grew up
like?
through something.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what's happening? You going through something? You all right, man? You got a
Right.
headache or something?
Yeah.
Like what's happening? What's going on? And and as I begin to grow and I begin to separate myself, I realized that what that's that space in a relationship that's a lot of times overlooked
Right.
because you'll hear a lot of it and a lot of the issues that's going on that we experiencing today. Or
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing this for my man, I'm not doing this for my girl, I'm not
Right.
doing this and I'm not doing that. And individuals, I'm not going to say women, I'm just talking about men and women that speak the opposite
Mm-hmm.
of what the system wants you to believe, gets a
Yeah.
lot of feedback on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Absolutely.
and that's and that was the big that's was big. And we had a podcast on this. I believe in privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm big on that. If you can't respect privacy, I can't deal with you.
Right. Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going, you know, when I leave my house, the last thing I need to worry about is my relationship.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you understand
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
I
Because when I
do.
step
I
out that
do.
door, I wear the weight of the world on my shoulders, and
Yeah.
so do your partner.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like we both wear the weight of the world on our shoulders, trying to get to a place where we can be comfortable where we are.
Yeah.
And sometimes people say relationships are 50-50 in the nuances. Relationships ain't 50-50. They not
No.
100. Sometimes they 80-20. They
Yeah.
70-30. They
Yeah.
65-45. They
Right.
20-80. Like
Yeah.
and
It's so
and
true.
once you start understanding that, and you start understanding the little nuances, and understand, because in your relationship, as your relationship grow, your space is going to grow,
Yeah.
your space is going to
Absolutely.
change. You believe that?
Absolutely.
Like your space is going to change,
It
right?
does. Yeah.
So what you may have did last year, that you might have been like, man, I was out my mind for thinking about that, man, the hell
Mm-hmm.
what I was thinking about. Now
Right.
this year you doing it, and you're doing it with no
Right.
conditions.
Right. With no conditions. There you have it. And there you have it, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
man. This is the Under No Conditions podcast. This is what we do here, man.
That's what we do.
Oh, today, man, we are talking about, man, how do you make space for the nuances in your relationship? And
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's a puzzle.
It is. And it's
It's
complex. It's
yeah,
not cookie cutter.
it's a puzzle, and it's complex.
And
But
it
but you know what?
changes.
But you know what, T? It's something we gotta do.
Yeah.
We gotta do it
Yeah.
because sometimes when you working on being happy with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you got to sacrifice,
Yeah, you do.
and you got to
It's a
give up some
sacrifice.
things.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times the people that's in your circle, they not going to understand it.
Mm-mm. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. I think and I'm gonna wrap it up, but I think that people need to understand that we set our own standards. So what works for me and you might not work for Mike and Keisha. And that's okay. But we have to be clear of our expectations of each other. And we have to allow each other room to grow. You know, because the people we are at 19 when we get married, 19 and 20, we're not the same people at 32
You're
and
not.
33.
You're
And
not.
that's okay. And
You're
it's
not.
okay to change your mind. It's
Exactly.
okay to say, babe, you know what? We were doing this, but that don't really work for us. It doesn't mean that you failed, but you tried it. And you got to do something else. You got to be willing to grow into whatever life has going on for you at that time, you know?
It's like you getting up, you get ready to go to the party. It's 9:30, quarter to 10. Man, you trying to get ready. And I'm waiting for you to get dressed. And you come out there and I'm asleep.
Right, exactly. Like, come on, Bama, come on, get up, get dressed.
Right.
What you doing, you Bama?
You, man, wake up, man. You better take them shoes off and get on this couch.
Right? We ain't going nowhere.
We
As
ain't
they
going
say,
no.
we ain't going nowhere
Matter
tonight.
of fact, nah, man, we ain't even going, man. Let's go get in the
Right.
bed, man.
Right. So you gotta meet your person. It's like, I'm cool with that, babe. Let's
Yeah,
go.
you
Let's
know,
chill.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy because
Yep.
and that's where your spaces change. It's a
Mhm.
lot of times, and we need to recognize that, and
Yeah.
it need to be communicated. And I
Yeah.
always say, you have to be able to have those tough conversations, and
Got
they
to.
have
In the
to
beginning.
be no all through the
Yeah.
relationship.
Right.
Your love is uncomfortable.
It is. That's so true. Love is uncomfortable.
Like
It is.
people be talking about, man, love ain't supposed to hurt. Oh, it's gonna
Sometimes
hurt.
it does. Yeah,
Oh,
sometimes
it's
it
gonna be
does.
uncomfortable
Yeah.
because for me, right? I need that person in my life to be able to have me look in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And make me look in the mirror and be like, all right,
Yeah, get your stuff together, bro.
tighten up.
Yeah, tighten up.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's okay.
It's all right. Yeah.
And it's okay. All right, wait, man, let me I've been lagging. Let me tighten up. Or sometimes they don't even have to say nothing because you know.
Mhm. Right. Let me
You
get
know what I
myself
mean?
together. Because
Yeah,
that
let me.
man not playing with me today.
Yeah, that Bama, he don't want to hear this. He don't,
Right.
man. Look, that Bama, man. I've been playing with this Bama. The way he looked at me, man, when I got out of the car, he ain't
Right.
playing no more. Yeah,
Right. He ain't
let me
playing with me. I
yeah,
need
he
to
ain't playing
stop.
with me. Let me
Yeah.
stop playing. Hey, Keisha, man, don't even come over here no more.
Right, exactly. Bro, stop calling me. Stop calling me because
Stop calling
you
me.
about to have
Yeah,
me lose
man.
my
Like, yo,
baby.
man, stop calling. Like, yo, man,
Yeah.
you my girl. Yo, dude. Like, yo, man, straight up. Like, I tell dudes, right? When I tell them a lot of times, is one of my nuances. Like, I tell people, I don't have no single friends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't think like I'm single.
Right.
I'm not doing what single people do.
Right. Right.
So why do I have to entertain that level in my life?
Right. I agree with that. I
In
absolutely agree.
business, that's something different.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as regular association, nah. Because
Because
I'm not.
it puts you at risk for a whole lot of like
Yeah,
crazy things. And
yeah,
it might not even be what it is, but it just look a certain way. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
and that's that different space that a lot of times what happens is you'll find yourself, if you're not careful in understanding the nuances and understanding and be able to regulate the spaces in your relationship,
Mm-hmm.
when you by yourself, you'll find out you don't know yourself.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is
Absolutely.
this been a great show, man.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Look, how much is your electric bill? Oh, it just came.
Don't
Oh,
worry about my daggone electric
oh,
bill.
hey
See?
y'all see that? See that light came on? Hey man, she done paid the bill, man.
Pay the bill. Won't he do it? Won't he do
Yeah.
it? Hey, can
Yo,
I get my $1.50 back though?
hey man, I'm as soon as the show is over, man, I'm
Okay,
gonna
bet.
cash app that thing
And
right
don't
on
try
back.
to Zelle it because it take a day or two. Just go ahead and cash app it. Okay? The Zelle be
Oh
moving
yeah, if
too
I sell
slow.
it to you, I can cancel it.
Right, exactly. Hey, look, account be like, nope.
Oh my gracious, they be like, man, look here, man. You be
I
like, nah,
know.
man, you already know. Look, it's been a great show.
Yes,
Once
indeed.
again,
Thank y'all for
everybody,
joining us.
man, for everybody that has commented on the videos, has commented on a post, has sent a like, even if you didn't like it. Hey,
Right.
keep coming. You know, hopefully, man, we can give you something that you can enjoy, maybe put a smile on your face. but hopefully we give you something that you can think about. We don't know it all, but
We
guess
don't,
what?
but
We got some experience, and
we
we just
do.
gonna give it to you just the way we need to give it to you. We ain't perfect, but we are the Under No Condition podcast. I am Isaac. This is my wonderful co-host, business partner, Tiana White. And guess what? We out.
We out.
Peace.